Greetings from a rain and windswept Sydney Harbour for race 6 of the JJ Giltinan 18-foot skiff championship. The rain has been tumbling down all day here in Sydney. The breeze is in the south and there's plenty of it. I'm Peter Shipway, and joining me today in commentary for the second last heat is Warwick Rookland. We're without Andrew Buckland today, who had a prior commitment, so we're going 2 up. So I'll be doing the steering and the main sheet. Warwick will be looking after everything else. So, but we've had some quite dramatic news overnight as far as the point score and protests are concerned. And before we get into the detail of today, I'd like Warwick to explain just what's happened and how it'll affect things with 2 races remaining. Warwick?
Thanks, Pete. Yeah, so what happened was Yamaha a few races ago had an incident, 3 races ago had an incident with port and starboard with SeaTech, and claimed they had broken some vital equipment in avoiding SeaTech. So Yamaha requested redress for that race. The protest committee awarded them redress for that race, and obviously gave them a huge advantage over, the 27 that they would normally have got for not finishing. Subsequent to that, Appliances Online requested redress on the grounds that their overall championship position was affected by the race committee granting Yamaha redress. Appliances Online claimed that they had new evidence to support the fact that redress shouldn't have been given to Yamaha. That was taken to a protest committee, and I believe last night that original decision was overturned. Yamaha was declined redress, and so we'll have to carry 2 big scores. Now that's going to really change the game, Peter.
Yes, that's right. So instead of getting the average points, he had to, at this stage, count his 27th, which is the points he incurred in race 3 for his retirement. So what that now means on the point score, everyone is locked in with their points at this stage. So if we get a completed race today, which we're sure to get because there's plenty of wind, that means after today everyone can drop their worst heat, and we've got 1 more heat tomorrow, so you'll count the 6 best races tomorrow to determine the championship winner. But after today we'll get a lot clearer guide as well, because you can drop a point your worst performance. So let's just look at the points. As I say, with 5 races gone, all points to count at this stage. We've got Thurlow Fisher Lawyers, Michael Coxon from Australia, he's leading on 15 points. Smeg, the defending champion, Lee Napton, is second on 26 points. Asco Appliances, Marcus Ashley Jones, who was a very big winner in the 5th heat on Thursday, he is third on 27 points. 4th is Cooper's Rag and Famish, Jack McCartney on 32 points. 5th, another New Zealand boat, is SeaTech on 35 points. Then following SeaTech, we've got Appliances Online, David Witt, who's already won a heat. Then we've got Peroni Yamaha, is now down in 8th position, followed by Compass Global, Knights Frank, Noakes Youth, Harkin, Triple M, Lola, Yandu, Noakes Sailing, Line 7, The Kitchen Maker, Maersk Line, Ilvi, Lumix, DeLonghi, Thurlow Compensation Lawyers, Mojo Wine, and rounding out the fleet is Events Clothing in 26th place. But as we look now, we're at Athol. We've got course number 4, and I'll get Warwick to go through that shortly. But looking down towards Double Bay, or upwind from the start, there's another rain squall tumbling over the hills. As I said earlier, we've had rain all day on and off here in Sydney. The rain's bringing a lot of wind with it. We've got a southerly course set. The breeze is anywhere between 18 to 20 knots and perhaps dropping down to 14 to 15 in the lulls. All skiffs on their number 2 rigs, they're small rigs, so everyone's gone across the board with that. So Warwick, as we're counting down to the start, give us a quick overview of the course and what you're expecting of today's racing.
All right, Pete, and everyone, sorry, I'm driving, doing 2 skills here. So southerly course, for the people that have been watching we've done this course twice in this regatta so far. And so they start down here near Taronga Park Zoo. They will head up to a mark in Double Bay, and then a really long run down to Obelisk Bay towards the heads in Sydney Harbour. Then they go up to Rose Bay, big long beat, and then down here to the start vicinity, back up again to Rose Bay, down towards the heads, Obelisk again, and then a long beat up to Rose Bay again, down to the start area, and finish up off Clark Island. And if you want to get a better idea of the courses, on the 18-foot skiff website there is a function where they have the courses and a graphic which gives you a bit of a visual idea of. Sorry, we've got a lot of traffic here, and we've got the also what's happening today is we've got the Sydney Harbour Regatta on, so just about every class and club is out here racing. Most of them appear to have finished their races for the day, but any Saturday on Sydney Harbour, you've got to keep your eyes out, don't you, Pete?
Indeed, and if you, wherever you're watching, I hope you're dry, I hope you're warm, because we're just about to get drenched with another rain squall powering out of Double Bay as we envision Cooper's Rag and Famish with Smeg just going behind him. Smeg second at the moment on points, Rag and Famish fourth. And hello to all our viewers around the world. We've had people watching in Florida, USA. Lenny Burke, as we mentioned before, he's watching. He can't take his eyes off it. He's easily amused, Lenny, if he's watching this. But anyway, hello to Lenny. And we say hello to Michael Coxon, who's up in Japan skiing, and he's the uncle of the other Michael Coxon, who's the series leader in Thurlow Fisher. Michael Coxon Senior is, of course, the principal of North Sails here in Sydney, who's done a lot of the sails for the skiffs, and of course his nephew's sails on Thurlow Fisher. So Coco, he's keeps telling me he's up in the spa in Japan.
Yeah, I had a chat to him last night, actually, given the time zones, and he was about to hit the spa with a little Peroni and enjoy a bit of après skiing.
You'd think he'd be here supporting his nephew.
Well, they actually did. Those guys did a fair bit of work, probably more work than they have in the last couple of years. And Coco's and the whole campaign has taken it up a notch, and you can see that in the way they're sailing and the results, Peter. And one of the things that he said to me last night was that Thurlow Fisher has fully moulded sails, like 3DI sails, and so all carbon, and the smaller boat sails are being made in their loft in Sri Lanka. I had the pleasure a couple of years ago of, I did a Mel's regatta with the Kevin Nixon and Daniel. In fact, Alex Murray sailed with us. But we did a road trip after the regatta, and we went, one of the things we did was we went and got a tour of the facility in Minden in Utah, and it was fascinating to see, you know, the big moulds. They're basically like big aeroplane wings that, you know, the designers can change the shape of them, and hence, you know, make all those moulded sails for the yachts and the America's Cup boats and so forth. And so they're using the same technology now, but on a smaller scale, for skiffs and the Melders and so forth.
Yes, it's fascinating technology and just how far sailmaking has come over the years. But I think it'd be fair to say that Thurlow Fisher, as you're alluding to, has put in all that work this year. I think they'd been a little bit off the pace for the last couple of years, and not a great deal, but just probably a tickle or so off the pace.
Exactly. Well, they got a brand new hull last season, and we're about to go into sequence here. They got a brand new hull last season, and they feel that's a lot stiffer. That old hull went down to my young bloke and his team in Noakes Youth, and but then, you know, this year they've definitely put a lot more effort in, and they've had Trent Barnabas the whole season as well. So it's been a really cohesive team. So just waiting for the flag to be hoisted to take us into sequence, which will mean 5 minutes to go to the start if we don't have any recalls.
And just to reiterate how tough we are doing it out here, Warwick, I cannot see Double Bay because it's rained out. I cannot see Rose Bay because it's rained out.
Yeah, exactly.
And the good news is it's heading our way as we hear the first signal.
Well, we're okay. It's 5 to go, but we've got our slam wet weather gear on here, shippers.
You're doing a great job here.
Staying nice and dry.
So we've just remembering there's very similar conditions to the first two races, as you mentioned, Warwick, and of course the clear winner on both those days was Yamaha, the boat that's been up and down on the point score and won his redress and then got it rescinded.
Yeah. And
he was a clear winner, so we'd have to say that, well, he'd probably be looking forward to these conditions, that we've got the first beat towards Clark Island at the mouth of Double Bay, and then the big long run down to Obelisk, which will normally provides terrific footage and a lot of thrills and spills. Yeah,
and also too, when it's true south, and Predict Wind had it in the south, all 4 models and 4 minutes, and that can be a bit of a VMG run, which is interesting, can open up overtaking lanes, so we always like that. And for the people that are watching, on last weekend, we had some great coming togethers at the bottom mark. Shippers, a bit of carbon grinding and a bit of yelling, and so we always love that as spectators. You don't like it as a sailor, but we're sitting on the other side of the fence now, so we can enjoy all that stuff.
We want it. We want to bring it to you.
It's like NASCAR.
That's right. You don't want to be in the action, we want to be watching the action.
Exactly. Well, I'll be ducking home after this and watching the Saturday racing of the Clipsal 500, which is a street race. There'll be plenty of action, so I'll get and then watch a replay. So that's my day and evening done.
So at the moment we're on the starting line, and the leeward mark, or the pin, is laid down in towards Bradley's Head, and looking upwind, the breeze is relatively steady, but this rain squall is approaching, so that would have an effect both in wind strength and in direction, you would think, somewhat.
Well, it certainly has been. 2:45 to go, Pete. So it has been. While we've been sitting here, we have noticed that when the rain comes, the breeze increases. And just have a bit of a squiz around and see how everyone's stacking up. We haven't got a great view out of this boat anymore out the back. It's all the tech stuff. But Pete, I'm not really seeing anyone, and it's only early, it's 2:20 to go. I'm not really seeing anyone pushing for that pit, for the pin end.
Well, what I can see, Warwick, is we can't see it on camera just yet, but going across the starting line in the opposite direction to the skiffs is a big Captain Cook cruise ship. He will be clear, I would think, of the starting area by the time we start, but how long we got, Warwick? A couple of minutes?
Yeah, just under 2. And so, yeah, that thing's a bit over 3 stories high and has a big effect. But as you said, Pete, that's going to be out of the way by the time these guys go. And just looking at this stack up now with 145, down the pin we got, or down the bottom end of the line, let's say, or the fleet, we've got appliances online, Yamaha, Bragg and Famish, Harkin USA, Noakes Youth underneath them. And more middle of the line, as this progresses, it'll be Thurlow Fisher, who's now really leading this championship, C-Tech Smeg, and then sort of on more the windward end of the line, we've got the ASCO, 1:10 to go.
Just remembering, sorry, Warwick, that the tide is ebbing all day, going out of Sydney Harbour. And there's 1 minute. And we've got appliances online down at the leeward end. He's tacked to come back on port to engage with the fleet again, but it looking like they want the pin appliances online.
Yeah, they did a nice little step up 2 tack, a little bit sloppy out of it. About 40, just under 40 seconds now. Note sailing's down there as well. 30 seconds.
ASCO and Mojo at committee boat end. Yandu mid-fleet, Smeg mid-fleet, C-Tech mid-fleet. Yamaha about 2/3 of the way down. The boats at the pin have stopped. They were going to be early. Haven't we got, Warwick?
10 seconds.
10 seconds.
And a little bit light at the moment, Pete.
Quite
light. A little bit soft.
Rain's lifted and the breeze has dropped.
And we're about to go. Noakes sailing's over. They've had to go back. Noakes Youth gets the pin. So we'll head over and... Okay,
There's one
individual.
We'll see if we can pick up those numbers.
I think that will be Noakes Sailing that addressed that immediately anyway. I can't see a number. Yeah, can't see a number, Pete. And Noakes Sailing, let you know, has gone in, had a capsize, trying to do a rushed around the pin and redress themselves. Number 17.
Okay, number 17 was Noakes Sailing, that's correct, Warwick. So he has gone back, but in going back he has capsized, so he'll be giving them a big start. But the fleet are powering away, starboard tack, driving in towards Bradley's Head. The kitchen maker, Steve Quigley, who has a reef in his sail, Warwick.
Yeah.
In this breeze, it has dropped quite significantly, as you said. Be lucky to be 12 knots here.
Yeah, amazing, isn't it, how up and down it is. Just watch Noakes Youth, it's tack, it's going to have to take a lot of sterns.
But Cooper's is the boat that's jumped out. He's got a terrific start. He and Yamaha, the two most left-handed boats at the moment. They've got to come back on port tack, which will give them no rights, but at the moment Cooper's is really smoking, and he likes this second sail breeze. Jack McCartney, Appliances Online has bailed out, but there's in vision Yamaha left of screen or middle of screen, Ilby hard left, and Cooper's Rag and Famish standing away on starboard tack.
And I can tell you, Pete, that the guys that were in that leeward pack that tacked onto port, Appliances Online, Noakes Youth and Smeg. Appliances sort of got out of there not too bad, but Smeg and Noakes Youth had to take a lot of sterns.
Okay, we just watched Rag and Famish tack. Yamaha will be behind him, I believe, yes. Breeze it's good. It's a good solid breeze now. It's back up again, yep. It's 15 knots plus, and they're plenty of power. They're on small rigs. There's Howie Hamlin in vision, second on Thursday. SeaTech just tacking behind him with the darker sails. And here's, he's doing a good job, Howie.
Yeah.
He probably would like it a bit lighter in the big sail breeze, but nonetheless he's got his...
I can tell you something, Pete, from what I see, is that potentially Yamaha and maybe Cooper's and may have overlaid this marking marks on our bow right now. Howie, Hamlin, Harkin USA has got a pretty good line into it. Yeah, and Smeg has got hurt going right. Geez, they got hurt.
Well, he got buried, Lee Napton, in the start. He was on probably his second row at best, and he had to try and get out there as quick as he could, and now he's going right over towards Amiot Garden Island. But this mark, the first turning mark, the weather mark, is right up near Clark Island, and there's a whole school of lasers that are milling around, but they won't affect the turning mark. The sky's clear. That rain went away very quickly.
It did.
It's a really nice sailing breeze now.
Yep.
As we're looking...
And they take this mark to port, Pete. A bit hard to see. We can't fly the drone in the rain, just to let you know. And now that this rain's cleared, I think we'll might be launching that as soon as we pull up here.
Okay, well that's the naval buoy there, and there now in screen is the turning mark, and we're looking back, and it is it will be Yamaha and Rag and Famish, and I would say Yamaha will be in front. Yeah,
they came out all right. It headed at the end there, and they've got better pressure. Howie Hamlin, that was looking good on a good lay, is very soft. So this breeze, geez, it's up and down.
But Warwick, the speed we saw in Yamaha in the first two races, which he won, we're seeing even in this early stage of this race.
Yes, yeah, he was just lightning fast upwind, wasn't he?
Well, here he goes. He's turned first, and a nice lead. And there's is that coming in on starboard tack is
Thurlow, our series leader.
Thurlow,
is it?
No, yes, it is.
Yes, it is, with their second ring. So that's not their carbon They're big rigs, not their carbon sails.
Okay, so we've got Yamaha, Rag and Famish, then Thurlow, then DeLonghi will be next.
Yeah.
Good job there. Then Rag and Famish is second. Thurlow, will they be happy with that? DeLonghi is fourth.
Yeah.
Then Ilvey is next. Then Harkin, Howie Hamlin just going round.
Yeah, and look at this, Yandu and a whole bunch of port tackers. David Witt's going to try and shove it in there. And he bumps the mark, and that's clean.
You're allowed to hit the mark,
Yep.
don't forget.
And
Yandu next, John Winning.
Knights Frank.
Knight Frank.
And a big gaggle, look at Smeg, overlaid a little bit, and it's working for them. Coming over the top of Compass, we've got that yet, line 7. Asco coming in a little bit wild. Ooh,
Well, there's a capsize there.
Team GBR.
Yeah, the Brits are in. Sea-Tech around, another New Zealander. Then the Kitchen Maker,
Yeah.
Steve Quigley with his reef in the sail. And there's still some more action coming here. Noakes Youth is flying in.
On port, and they've got Asco Peroni on starboard. They'll slot in just in front of Lumix. So they've had a shocker. They were down at that pin, and not too bad, but just got hammered coming back on port tack, and then Triple M. So we'll head on and try and catch up.
Yeah, there's still a bit of carnage at the mark. Mersk trying to get round. He didn't get round. He had to tack back, and we're just watching them powering down the harbour now. So
There's a drone.
we're just watching still Mersk trying to get round the mark. And we're watching them now. It's good breeze, good hard run down to Obelisk, a long run. So here we go. We're on Triple M's, the dark sails there. He hasn't set a spinnaker yet. A few of the boats are holding up to windward before they set. The leaders have all set. They're flying into Chowder Bay, to Taylor Bay.
And Pete, I can tell you, when I said to you before, and just I think it's out of shot, Asco's having a shocker, and they're going to go in. And when I said this could be a VMG run, in fact, it's nothing like a VMG run.
No.
There's east in this, and guys are struggling to lay. Yandu, what do we got here? Yandu, you've got that pack there. Smeg, all struggling to get around Bradley's head. It's crazy. Triple M, Noakes Youth. Triple M Noakes, sorry, I'm having a struggle to drive this thing. I just don't know what Triple M's going to do. Noakes Youth going to be in backwards. Same with Lumix. This is nuts. I'm going to cross around behind. Yeah, and that's what I was going to say before. And Michael was just pointing it out, our director down there, just saying that Yamaha has absolutely bolted. They got around there with a bit of south. Same with Cooper's Rag and Famish. And they bolted. Now the guys, the big pack, the big chasing pack, they get a bit of relief. Breeze just got a little bit south again, so it's enabling them to get up a little bit. But man, there's no way, in my mind, they're going to make Obelisk, right? They're all going to have to knock their chutes off and two sail up around George's Head and then set again.
Yeah, I think looking right in the lead, you're right. Yamaha and Coopers have really extended, and this is very similar to the first two races with Yamaha. He's just motored. He's just as we speak in the distance, dropping his spinnaker to get round George's Head. The rest of the fleet are all bow down, really struggling. But the big news on that run was Asco, the heat winner in Heat 5. He has capsized before he got to Bradley's Head. So you'd probably say his day is probably done and dusted.
And that's going to be really damaging for their overall series points, because they still had a chance or in there for a podium, I think. Now they start knocking them off.
Okay, you can see Asca, Smeg with the red spinnaker, he's just dropped. Knight Frank's dropped, line 7's dropped. The white spinnaker is the kitchen maker, Steve Quigley. He's okay, Steve. He'll have to drop, I think. Compass will probably drop as well. Yeah,
he was in danger there with line 7 coming around underneath him. He had no right, so he pulled that off well. Compass powering.
The other boat that's done well just to the right of these boats, out of vision at the moment, is Sea-Tech. We'll see him shortly. There's been a capsize. on the point.
I think that was Team USA, Harkin Team USA. I think that was Howie Hamlin, Peter. And very close to those rocks.
Well, Yamaha's round George's head, and he will be shortly resetting in the distance. Here comes line 7, the Kitchen Maker, all without spinnakers. Compass Global running into Chowder Bay still with his spinnaker. More rain, more wind coming, Warwick. We've got some...
Smeg's in trouble, Pete. I don't know what it is. Their chute's still up a little bit, and so that was sort of got turned around and going upwind. So they're having an absolute shocker. So let's get up there. Let's move forward and get up with the bunch.
You'd probably have to say that Smeg is out. She's putting the bow down again now.
Yeah, I don't think it's terminal. I think they just had an issue. Their chute was up a little bit. They might have dropped a little bit of it in the water. And what have we got here? We've got Triple M just smoking along here with the chute on. They'll have to knock off in a second to see what we've got on the screen. Now we've got the Ilve line 7 Yandu Knights Frank battle.
And there's water aplenty in the sky, and there's wind aplenty. And the leaders again have jumped out. Yamaha is about to turn the obelisk mark with a clear lead.
Can we come around to the left on the Roman, please? Pick up compass.
Fleet are now screaming off George's head without spinnakers, 2 sail reaching.
I'm going to have to get out of here.
That's the Compass Global. Keegan York, he's done fine there.
Yeah.
He's low, he'll get away soon, spinnaker up.
He's done well, Pete.
Yep.
And Yamaha's around. Next, Cooper's Rag and Famish.
Just about to go round.
Next, I think.
Now they're all setting spinnakers off the Western Channel
yes.
pile. That's the blue and red spinnaker of Yandu. We can see line 7, John O'Witty, the man responsible for the drone and everything in the air for their telecast broadcast. That's Jono.
With AeroMedia, give me a plug there, well deserved. So confirming Cooper's Rag and Famish is in second, not that far behind Yamaha. Thurlow Fisher Lawyers, now our series leader, will come around in third with...
Appliances Online's done well.
Yeah.
He's come out of the pack.
These guys on our right, I don't know if the guys can pick it up, but they are motoring. Line 7, Compass, Yandu, the Kitchen Maker. So, and a bit bumpier down here, a little bit of swell as well coming into this part of the harbour.
So there'll be a good group to come round this mark, and there's looking out to sea. There's a big swell on at the moment, Warwick. So
yeah, huge. You can see it in here, Pete.
Have you taken your seasick tablets?
I have.
Good boy.
And Cole.
We don't want any projectiles being hurled around.
No.
But there is a big swell. It's been southerly breeze for a number of days. But there we're watching DeLonghi go around the mark, and then SeaTech will be next. But upwind, Yamaha leads by about 30 seconds from Cooper's Rag and Famish. Appliances Online and Thurlow locked in a battle for fourth. Then DeLonghi, SeaTech, and then Compass Global just dropping their spinnaker now.
Compass is going
Hang on to it, Compass. He's over.
They're going.
He's gone.
Yeah,
he's gone. Yep.
And going back to DeLonghi, Simon Nern's had a great first beat and run to be up in about fifth, I think, or fourth, fifth.
Okay, next in will be Knights Frank, another New Zealander. Then John Winning. He's having his best race, but here comes Smeg again.
And there's another boat up there that's capsized. Could be Noakes Youth. No, there's a
line 7.
Even further back, there's another one. So plenty of capsizes today. Got Knights Frank just behind us. I'm going to have to get out of here, boys.
Yeah, Knights Frank's got his big overlay the mark. He had trouble getting his spinnaker down.
Okay, he's going way past.
Yep, John Winning just getting it tidy now in the bow. Spinnaker down.
Oh, Smeg. Are we on Smeg? Yep.
Here comes Smeg.
Oh, this could be
Smeg's in trouble.
Smeg's
gone. He's gone. He's gone.
They just left that late and under pressure in this much breeze.
And then in the background, Compass Global still flopping around trying to get over John Winning's jib is inside. The battens have
just
gone around the other side
that.
of the forestay. That'll come out, and there he goes. Ah, dear, for Smeg, you'd probably... Oh, there's Peroni. Another...
Yeah. Oh,
this is the
another
graveyard.
swimmer.
This is the graveyard.
Yep. This is all getting blown up, Pete. Like, how many swimmers have we had? We must have had about 8, 9.
I think you'd probably have to say for the defending champions, that could well be the end of their regatta.
Yep. So Asco's up, not on shot, but they're coming down. They'll be the Lumix Kitchen Maker around next. Then will be Panasonic Lumix. Then Vasco can pull this off. They'll be around. Smeg now just starting to get up. So another graveyard down here, Peter.
Indeed, we've seen it every time. There's plenty of wind, 18, probably 18 knots, not quite, maybe 20 in the gusts. Smeg in all sorts of trouble. Peroni gone, but here comes Asco with the red spinnaker. He got himself, remember, capsized early in the first run. He's going to be late with his drop as well. There he goes. He still hasn't got the spinnaker in the boat. He's just getting back on the wind now. Quite an aggressive turn. Smeg is up, but he has not gone round the mark. I repeat, he has not gone round the mark.
Yeah, right. And the thing is with Pete, that's difficult, because you have to do a 2-sail jibe. And in these conditions, that's a very difficult manoeuvre. Note sailing, after having a capsize at the start, they're now down, back up with these sort of tail enders, so all the swimmers are sort of coming together.
And then the white spinnaker is Great Britain. They had an early capsize. Peroni has just got himself going.
Yeah, Team GBR's up and going again. About to come around the mark. Smeg, I don't know if we can get on that, please, Chits. Smeg, you want to watch that to the right, Blake. With two-sail drive coming up for Smeg. A little bit lighter now. And yeah, they've pulled that off now. They're going to need to round up.
Yeah, he's fine there, but yeah, the leaders are almost, well, at least a good third of the way up the weather beat. So it would require something quite remarkable for Smeg to get back in touch now. So there's Smeg and Lola from Great Britain. Mojo just about to go round the mark. Compass has got himself up. He still hasn't gone round the mark. Peroni has got himself up, and he's going to jibe round the mark as a little yacht uses the same mark. And then Compass Global going round.
The drone's down.
Okay, so we're going to...
Got our men sorted. When Christoph's locked himself in, we'll head up to the leaders.
Fasten our seat belts and away we go upwind. And we're going dead upwind. There's Smeg and GBR, Lola, standing away towards the Sow and Pigs area, in towards Camp Cove. In the background, the sky is still very overcast and heavy.
Yeah.
Rain squalls coming through periodically.
Gee, says people still getting self sorted out. I think Noakes Youth's had 2 swims.
Yep.
They're getting sorted out now. And it just shows you, Pete, when it gets to things like this, if you're not doing heaps and heaps of this stuff, practicing, you know, it can make it difficult when it comes to the big championships, when you get, the pressure comes on. So it all changes, doesn't it? You know, you get the bigger regattas, the pressure comes on, the boats get closer, and that's the one thing that I've noticed this week. It is a totally different sense of intensity to what, let's say, the Australian Championships were, you know, a few weeks ago.
Yeah, that's correct. There's a big swell in the harbour. It's built up very quickly. We're powering up between the two eastern and western channel highlights, and it's quite shallow here, of course.
Yes.
And it bounces off Biddle Head and bounces into Nielsen Park, and sometimes there'll be surfing at Nielsen Park.
Exactly. Well, so Pete, there's so much breeze, and I know we've got a lot more windage on this boat now with all sorts of things, and people up a bit higher, but even the instability on the camera caddy, it's quite amazing.
Good shot of Yandu, John Winning. probably having his best race. He likes a bit of breeze. He feels he's just a bit slow with his big rig, but he's a bit better with his small rig. He's approaching off George's Head in the Western Channel pile. He'd be in the top 10.
Well, the thing is, Pete, with his big rig, and I spoke to him after that light race the other day, and Thursday's race actually, and he's not very proactive in changing his rig settings, and that caught him out. You know, he's just too bound up. So I think he's talking to him. I think he's going to, start doing that a little bit more. So on our bow now, Pete, is the battle for the lead. We're on the kitchen maker at the moment. We'll get up to these leaders. Triple M has done a really good job. Out of shot to our left. They've done a great job. Only their second season in the class, and they're improving all the time. So out front still, we've got Yamaha just starting to come off the screen now with Thurlow, Fisher, Rag and Famish. DeLonghi still hanging in there, Appliances online. It's back there with them. So 6 guys in this lead group really.
There's Triple M. He's gone a bit left up this beat. He's just coming up off the Nielsen Park shore. We'll see the Nielsen Park blinker shortly, the yellow blinker just going behind him. And he's done a very good job, as you say, Warwick. He's right close to Thurlow Fisher. And there we're watching Cooper's Rag and Famish.
Yeah, something went wrong there.
I think he wanted to duck or had to slow down to get behind Thurlow Fisher.
See, I tell you what, Pete, that was a really mature, because
good sailing.
You can do like a big high-speed duck and get out of control, where they had the presence of mind just to basically go in, ease all the gear, slowly go behind Thurlow and keep going again. That was
smart
really
sailing.
Good stuff.
Yeah, very smart sailing. He didn't, as the bear away in a lot of wind, can, as you say, can be catastrophic.
Yes.
He just held his course, eased the sails, stopped the boat. Thurlow slid across in front of them, and they pulled on again.
Sorry to interrupt, Pete,
yeah.
but there's something going on. James isn't out on the wire. I want to go investigate that, because
that's the skipper on Thurlow Fisher.
Yeah.
Whatever he's doing something pretty well on on Triple M.
Yeah. So
but while we have a look at him, it's a great battle for first. There's nothing in it. Thurlow Fisher, Cooper's Rag and Famish, and Yamaha. He'd only be about 30 or 40 metres in front. But here's the shot there of Yamaha and Thurlow Fisher. Cooper's out of shot at the moment. They're off Steel Point at Nielsen Park, and DeLonghi's in the mix as well. But these leaders are standing away on port tack. Good clear runway into Rose Bay. There's plenty of wind.
Come back to Triple M. Okay, Pete. He's broken his tiller extension. He's broken his port side tiller extension. Look at that. What a bummer. So I don't like, because they haven't had a capsize, so I don't know why that would have happened. But that's bad luck. Because those guys, and yeah, maybe he had a little fumble when they did that slowdown, Pete, and broke it then. I'm not sure, but that's bad luck for them.
Yeah, that means obviously what you can see there is the skipper just cannot get out to full extension on the trapeze, because wouldn't be able to steer the boat, so he's got to sit in on the wings. But nonetheless, he's still doing okay.
Yeah,
he's going across on port.
Well, he'll be running 2 modes: flat out on starboard and 3/4 on port drive and tack.
So we're watching the 3 leaders now. There's the race leader, Yamaha from New Zealand, Dave McDiarmid, and he would be first. Cooper's Rag and Famish, who's behind Thurlow. There we go. They're both coming off the Steel Point shore. Cooper's second, Thurlow Fisher, the point score leader, third. Probably Triple M would still be fourth. And then coming right on Steel Point is C-Tech, DeLonghi and Appliances Online. The rest are a long way back. Still a good beat. We've still got or a good kilometre to go to the turning mark up off Shark Island. Yamaha's just tacked on the starboard to come across to Cooper's. He'll still be in front, but there's not much in this. Jack McCartney and the boys throwing down the gauntlet to Yamaha, and they are in second place. And there's the leader and the second place getter.
You're right, Pete. Cooper's Rag and Famish has taken time out of Yamaha, for sure. So they're on the mark. So everyone sort of expected Yamaha to have an extra gear from the others, but that's clearly not the case at the moment, is it?
Not at all. No, Rags is very, very competitive at the moment. Thurlow Fisher, I'd say he'd be just jogging along, no mistakes. I mean, if he could just get another good place today, it'd put him in almost a very, very solid position, yeah, especially Smeg, who was his closest rival, is a long, long way back. We're on the race leader, standing into Rose Bay. And we cannot, Warwick, give a complicated overview of his luff round on his mainsail because Bucko's not here.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
we'll just...
What does the seat say?
Empty seat. An empty seat says, well, he looks okay.
No, but the thing is, Pete, in all seriousness, these guys are quite twisted. To me, you know, they've got the jib all the way out on the jib track. They've got a bit of the jib sheet to be down on the clue board, a bit of jib ease, maybe a little bit of bang ease, and they've just got a really nice mode in this breeze. And this is up now. This breeze is above 20 in this part of the harbour as they go for their tack. They'll be looking for final approach to Shark Island.
But interestingly, Warwick, just in this last 200 or 300 metres, he's doubled the distance on Rag and Famish.
Incredible.
Well, the breeze was up and he just smoked away again. Wow, that was a good effort there.
Yeah. Let's just go. We'll go alongside Yamaha and see if we can pick that up. But when they get to this amount of breeze, a few more knots into the 20s, this thing leaks.
It'll be 20 plus now. It'll be a good 20 knots, 21 knots.
The bow comes out of the water, Pete. I was watching the other day. Like it's this thing just motored.
Well, he's motored in the last little bit.
Look at that, Peter. Look how much bow's out of the water. Like the boat's coming out of the water back to the mast, going upwind. These guys, it's not sure what it is, but
whatever it is, it's working.
Yeah, we'll have a look at their crew position. They're back on the back wing bar. The skipper, David McDonald's right. Well, they've overlaid a little bit now, so now they're cracking sheets. So we'll watch these guys. We'll stick with these guys for a bit.
They're just coming up to the yellow turning mark in about 4 or 5 boat lengths, and then they'll race back to the starting area. But way in the distance, Warwick, that looks like Triple M, I think, is going home.
Oh, dear.
What a shame.
Bummer for them.
What a shame.
Okay, so I reckon they're going to be two sailing for a fair while here, Peter. They won't be setting a shoot straight away.
He has absolutely tripled his lead in the last 300 or 400 metres. Rag is still about 50 or 60 metres to go to the turning mark. Thurlow will be a clear third and C-Tech fourth. But here we are on Yamaha. Race 6 of the JJs.
Okay,
Crew going in now. Crew going in for Spinnaker set.
Yeah.
Which is okay. The breeze is quite down. They're getting a bit of a lee out of Point Piper, although it's a long way away. But the news is Triple M is going home. His day is over. Yamaha has set here. And then if you can see it right in the distance going across Yamaha now is Smeg, still a long way up from the weather mark. And Rag and Famish has just gone round the Shark Island mark, and he's doing an early set. There he goes, White Spinnaker. He has set a lot earlier than Yamaha did, but Yamaha is powering off towards Bradley's Head, and Rag and Famish, there's Yamaha now, and he looks very comfortable. Breeze down again, Warwick.
Yeah, breeze is down. So as you said, Pete, that was extraordinary. Like when we approached Shark Island, there was nothing in it between Yamaha and Jack McCartney's Cooper's Rag and Famish, and now the gap would be what, 20 seconds, 15 seconds maybe?
Well, even a little whisker more, maybe. Yeah, about
right.
that. Yeah, because they're moving so quickly.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, of course, Thurlow Fisher there, Shark Island in the background. He's a clear third. C-Tech will be fourth. There's a great overhead shot of the Rag.
Yeah.
Boys working very hard to make sure they get round Bradley's head.
And we'll go down with that, with our little friend in the sky.
So while we're watching Rag, we've got Yamaha first, Rag and Famish on screen second, Thurlow Fisher third, C-Tech fourth, Appliances Online fifth, DeLonghi sixth, Yandu seventh, Knights Frank eighth.
Yep, and Yamaha's had to knock their chute off at Bradley's, and looks like they're having a bit of an issue with it now. It's just out of shot now. It's getting under control. So if Cooper's Rag and Famish can get around Bradley's, Pete, I'm just looking upwind, but if they do, this will be a big gain. I can see Jack really working hard to do that.
Looks as though he might here, Warwick. It looks as though he will.
A little bit more breeze coming down out of Double Bay though at the moment,
Yeah.
Pete. I think, anyway, it'll be marginal. So Thurlow in third.
Yep.
Michael Cox and Dave O'Connor, Trent Barnabas, been a solid team now for many years.
Rag's got a bit now at Bradley's head.
Yeah, they're flagging their chute, Pete.
They
See, they get to the point, Peter, where they can't knock it off because they run out of runway. They're going to hit the bricks. So now they're having a crack at it. Whoa, this is dodgy. I have seen it when there's enough breeze that they...
Yep.
Well, Cocker, if we go back to Thurlow, they're going to have to go under, and a bit out of shot, they're going to have to go under a small corporate boat. They're going to have to knock off their chute too.
Yeah, they've all
so
dropped.
all the leaders have
They've
had
all
to
dropped.
do it.
We can see Thurlow there. He's okay. It looks a bit untidy at the moment. Bow down a little. Spinnaker on board almost now. Okay, he's clean. Thurlow good. Yamaha has reset in the distance to go down to the leeward turn mark. Rag hasn't reset yet. You can just see him main and jib reaching, and then Thurlow around Bradley's head. So the distance about the same between first and second and third. And just watching back, Smeg has just gone around the turning mark at Shark Island. So we'll get a time on Yamaha here, Warwick.
Yep, I'll get that, Pete. So we'll head on down there.
That's him dropping his wide spinnaker. Smeg, Thurlow, Fisher and Coopers have not
Pete,
set yet.
Pete going there, yeah, Rags is going for the chute now. They go for their chute as well. I don't think they'll get there, just two sailing. And we're just looking back at C-Tech, DeLonghi having a good battle.
Okay, there's Yamaha approaching the weather mark. Warwick, you got the time on this. They're around now.
Okay, just out of shot. Thurlow's going for their chute in third place. Windward set. Good job.
Rag comfortable in second. And the breeze, just looking upwind, it's a nice sailing breeze now. What, 15 knots? 14,
Yes.
15, that's about all.
And nice flat water in this part of the harbour, Pete.
Yeah, not much traffic.
Yeah. And looks like rain's going to stay off for a little while as well. So it's been ups and downs, hasn't it? You know, we've had
There's Rag
say
around
about
now.
33 seconds.
33, there you go.
And big ups and downs. Like you think about where we've been in the course, we've had rain, we've had low pressure, high pressure, waves, swell. You know,
Here comes DeLonghi powering in.
they're having a great race, DeLonghi.
He said he spinnaker a little bit earlier then, and he's powering up on Thurlow.
There's Simon Nern, Grant Rollinson.
Rollo, hang on to a Rollo. There you go, son. There's Thurlow going round. DeLonghi will be next. Then together Appliances Online and C-Tech will be next around. But
Geez, it's calm right down at the moment, hasn't it?
yeah, just a really nice breeze now. Sort of
Yeah.
sky's lifted.
So DeLonghi's now around, seeing the shoot away, and Appliance has closed the gap a little bit in that drop.
He's fourth.
And all the boats sort of punching out, except for Yamaha, all the boats punching out. Oh, there's some argy-bargy between Appliances and DeLonghi. Still going on, Pete.
Well, I think it was good. It had to be good-hearted banter. It couldn't be anything else. They were so far apart. Big Dave Witt wanted a bit of a voice. He said, "Get out of my way! I'm coming after you." There he goes. He's at the tap. That's all it could have been. They weren't even
wind up.
Yeah, they weren't even close to each other.
Yeah.
Coming to get you.
Good action. C-Tech.
Yeah.
Just out of shot, just behind Appliances.
He's been there or thereabouts all regatta. C-Tech. Yeah. He's currently on points.
And I tell you,
he's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th. So there you go.
Okay. It's Yan Du around, Knights Frank around, and just out of shot, our man with the reef in the Kitchen Maker has kept it together and is up there in the top 10.
Yeah, well, he's got a light crew, Steve has, but anyway, good on him. Broke his mast the other day, and then, oh dear, a long way back, Asco and the Smeg.
Yeah. It's funny, isn't it? It just goes on, and then they start falling away. You know, no matter how good the teams are and stuff, every championship, you know, quite often there'll be like 5 fighting for it, and it'll drop to 4. And now, right now, it's looking very much in favour of Thurlow Fish and Appliances. With these positions, will have probably moved forward in their standings.
Yeah, well, Cooper's is still in the mix, of course.
Yeah, Cooper, sorry, boys. Absolutely they are. So, we'll just switch to Asco. So they're coming down. They've had a swim.
They're about 11
a brilliant
12.
day on Thursday. You know, a long way to go. They could chip away and get a couple more places for sure.
Yep, so they'll round this mark and off Robertson Point, Athelbite, then they'll beat up to Clark Island, Double Bay again, and then another long run down to Obelisk.
Yeah.
Beat up
we'll go
to
and
Rose
pick up
Bay.
The leaders again. Head to the top mark.
That's where the battle is now. I mean,
and the championship, right?
For sure.
So basically they're a bit over halfway through this race. So Pete, I've noticed out of shot, Cooper's Rag and Famish have just put an enormous hole and nearly went in backwards just on our... Jeez, this breeze has got fucked.
Warwick, I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but I'm just trying to do some calculations here, and only if, the placing stayed the same, that is Yamaha first, Cooper's second, Thurlow third. I think they finished in that order. I don't think Thurlow can be beaten for the championship.
Is that right?
I don't want to get the Thurlow supporters too excited, or the curse. But
Yamaha just around.
Yamaha's at the weather mark, and he's kept his very good lead. And the breeze 15-16 knots. Thurlow is second. Cooper's Rag and Famish and Screen is second. Yamaha running down to Obelisk, but the consistency of Thurlow is really standing him in good instead. In the 5 races so far, he's had first, second, third, fourth and fifth. So it's hard to do much better. Well, it is obviously hard to do better.
Nice
you can do better, but in this competition, this type of racing, it's a pretty solid scorecard so far. But we're only halfway through this race, and Yamaha's got a nice leader. Did you get a time on this,
Yeah, I
Warwick?
did, Pete. It's already up to 51 seconds.
Yeah,
So
it'll
they've
be a minute.
extended again,
It'll
Yamaha.
Be a minute as Jack McCartney
57, yeah.
wheels Cooper's Rag around. Not much wind. They will set immediately. And then another 15, 20 seconds back is Thurlow Fisher. And Appliances Online has got himself up into fourth. I think he's in front of DeLonghi.
Yeah, Yamaha has done what they did in the other two sail or second rig races. Both of them has just blitzed them. And I was talking, I talk to Kevin Nixon a lot all the time, but he's been over as a Kiwi. He's Kiwi Aussie. He still goes back to New Zealand a fair bit occasionally, visit relatives and stuff. And he was saying to me a couple of times he's been over there that he's seen these guys out there at 8 o'clock in the morning in the middle of winter training with, their small sails when there's the most wind. So we can see that they've worked hard and they've got something special.
Okay, there's Appliances round. Not quite comfortable yet. A bit of a dunk into windward there. He's just stopped.
Oh, yeah.
Tom Anderson caught out on the wire. There they go. There's DeLonghi round after him. C-Tech next in a ball of spray. DeLonghi setting. And then Cooper's Rag and Famish has become a victim of the lee of the ferry, Warwick.
Yes.
That's what
and
happened.
They're in trouble, yeah.
Is
it on? No, it's not on shot, but just to let you know.
I think he'll be okay, but it will be open a bit of a door there for Thurlow. Thurlow's way to leeward of him and didn't incur the wrath of the ferry as Cooper's did. And now it's quite light at the
guys,
weather mark.
I think we're going to go forward, guys.
And we're watching DeLonghi and C-Tech run away. Knight Frank's around, as is Yandu. So we're out chasing the leaders. DeLonghi and C-Tech fighting hard to keep each other at bay, and who's going to be first to put the wheels down at Bradley's head. They're really good gust.
Yeah, they're both heading for it, aren't they, Pete? So it's a little bit of luck of the draw, isn't it, when you come out of these bays, particularly these southerlies. It sort of tends to come in waves of pressure. Whether you're lifted or headed, or whether you're a little bit light air or fully pressed.
Way in the distance, Yamaha might even get round George's head.
Yeah.
He really is just smoked down the run in constant pressure. There he is, right on George's head, just to the left of it. You can see him in the distance, the white sails. If he has to drop, it'll only be a short little hitch.
Sorry, Pete, if we just come around to the left a little bit, guys, and pick up C-Tech. They went for quite a high risk manoeuvre there, but they pulled it off. They had one guy in, fired the halyard, and kept the tack on, and the thing just floating above the water, but then risked nearly going in the water, but they pulled that off nicely. Pete?
And I think that that little kerfuffle that Rag and Famish had with the ferry, he's probably in line with Thurlow or a bit behind him. Thurlow's well to leeward, struggling under good pressure. Good pressure down in, there's Thurlow on screen now. He's powered away. Here's C-Tech, still without the chute. And DeLonghi in the background. They dropped to get round Bradley's head. I think they'll be looking at a reset shortly. There's not much pressure here. But Yamaha has had to drop his spinnaker down there at George's head. C-Tech setting. DeLonghi coming up to try and engage and roll him. But C-Tech just get that little twist out. Bang, there they go. But there's DeLonghi over them.
So it's field very spread out, eh, Peter?
Very much so. The leader has bolted again. Thurlow, Fisher, plenty of hammer down in Chowder Bay. He'll be dropping the spinnaker shortly, but DeLonghi's still under main and jib, reaching to get some, buy some height here.
Yeah, and C-Tech is not too bad at the moment, just out of shot with their shoot up. They're not a bad heading, but probably won't lay George's head. Now DeLonghi goes for the set.
Still on C-Tech, plenty of pressure there. Chowder Bay in the background.
Knights Frank just off our starboard there on shot, Peter.
Yeah, he jumped up again to weather from Yandu, who they rounded the mark basically together. John Winning to leeward out of screen at the moment. He's reset. He's getting a fantastic ride.
Yeah.
Knights Frank will set very shortly, you would think.
Well, they look like they're going to go and try and get around George's head and only do one set and one drop. So here they all. So we're on Yandu, but out to the right, Knights Frank is setting, just to let you know. And
there's Yandu. He's got the bit between his teeth. Oh, Woody. Thurlow and Coopers have both dropped to get round George's head. I thought Coopers might have been back in third, but it's very close between those two. They just snuck around George's head. Appliances Online is fourth, but Yandu getting a fantastic run. He looks pretty comfortable at the moment, Warwick.
Yeah,
Woody.
He's doing a great job. Just chipped away. You think of all the younger guys that have, been standing on the fin today, and Woody just chips away as he always does in this stuff. Just, even today at his age, just a master heavy weather sailor.
Taught him all he knew, Warwick. Taught him all he knew.
Yeah.
C-Tech ahead of him with the darker sail. He looks at this stage to get round George's head. DeLonghi will as well out to windward, but Woody and Yandu, he's done a great job.
Yeah.
Perfect lay line for George's head, you'd say, at this stage.
Yeah. And even as a kid, Shippers, I sailed with him, I think when I was 11 or 12 in the VJs, and, we just love the heavy air.
Well, his father, of course, is one of the great skiff sailors of all time on Sydney Harbour. Won multiple 12-foot skiff titles.
Yep.
In the 50s and 60s. And
Choco winning.
Yeah, unbeatable in the same name of Yandu, the same colour patch.
Yep. And you know the story of the Yandu?
I do.
Yeah. It's a great story. We won't go into the whole thing, but basically it was a newsletter from the war, right?
That's correct.
That Cecil... I can't remember.
Sil Rohu.
That's Sil
Rohu. R-O-H-U. And Choco picked up that name, and it's become synonymous over many years, 70 plus years on Sydney Harbour and the Winning family.
And now just after we can come around to the right a bit, please, Blake, and we'll pick up Blake's shot. We'll get a perspective of Knights Frank and that battle between Yandu and Knights Frank. Yandu slightly ahead at this stage, and Knights Frank at good pressure, but they're a little bit high. This breeze is clocked around a little bit to the right, Pete, and from here on in turns into a VMG run, so advantage back to Yandu on that one. So let's head down and we'll get the mark roundings.
Well, we've got Yamaha's round already.
Yeah.
Appliances Online's the one that's closed up.
Look, and one thing, Pete, look at this. Cooper's Rag and Famish was second. They're still going to be second, but the others are...
Yes, he is second. Yeah. Just.
A bit hard from back where we are, but the others are closed up.
There's three of them going round the mark, very close together.
Yeah, good battle for second.
Yeah, that's Cooper's just gone round with the dark sails. Next will be, we think, Thurlow, and then Appliances Online. Yeah, there's Thurlow.
Yeah.
Just put his bow up now. He's clean. He's 3 or 4, 5 boat lengths behind Cooper's, and then similar distance to Appliances Online. So big gains to Appliances Online, but meanwhile out in the midstream is Yamaha. He'd be a good minute plus in front.
So just to remind the viewers, this is their last big upwind of the race, big long one, all the way back up into Rhodes Bay. But definitely you compare this lap to the previous one, Peter, where all that carnage occurred. Yeah, the breeze has definitely gone a lot softer. But as you alluded to, big swell.
Yeah, C-Tech will be round in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th. DeLonghi 6th, and Yandu 7th, I think, at this
Yeah.
stage. We're watching C-Tech drop his spinnaker. A whisker late. No, he's clean.
Yeah, they're good.
On the wind now. There he goes. We're right at this leeward turning mark at Obelisk. Nice pressure. Nothing too extreme.
No, it's probably, you know, it's a good, 8 knots, 10 knots lower than it was the last time here.
And that wake of that madman in that powerboat you see is us in the camera cam. So we don't make much wake, and we're getting great shots from the air and on board. And there's DeLonghi around next, and then quite close to him is Yandu, and Knights Frank will be the next one round with the white spinnaker.
So you think Knights Frank's 8th, do you? Is that our count?
4, 5, 6, 7th, 8th. That is correct.
Yeah.
John Winnie is in
top
7th.
10. So we've got Steve Quigley. Looks like might be next, 9th. So that he's a top 10er. And then you know, we've got the likes of Asco, Compass, Smeg all back there.
Yep.
And then it's another postcode back to the other sailors. Just some of them had just shockers. I can see, yeah. So I think we'll stick with this bunch, Pete. It's too far back to the others, really.
Yeah, I think that the battle will be for 2nd, 3rd and 4th, which will have the bearing on the overall championship and the overall title. So I think that would be the focus. There's the kitchen maker's final jibe in to the mark. He's clean, and he's got 150 metres into the leeward mark. Next will be Compass Global, then Smeg.
Yeah, and then Smeg. We're just going to get this drone on board, Peter, and then we'll hightail it up to the front.
That's Smeg just going across the front of Yandu with the red spinnaker, but Asco will jump in front of those guys. He's gone right down towards Sow and Pigs before he jibed, and he is to leeward of that bunch, so he will follow the kitchen maker around, I think, Global, Compass, and then Lee Napton in Smeg.
Jesus, it's developed some big holes, hasn't it? And the thing is, Pete, you know, I'm not seeing any rain around, you know, and that's when we noticed that we got the highest wind pressure. So we may well kind of have this amount of wind strength or thereabouts for the rest of this race. So that's pretty comfortable second sail stuff.
Yeah, all the skiffs look very comfortable. They're full powered, but they're not overpowered. The breeze, as you say, is a good steady 15, 16, 17 knots, perhaps in the higher pressure gusts. But Yamaha's taken a long port tack right into Chowder Bay, and he's standing away now on starboard as we watch the tail enders run down.
Yeah.
That's Noakes sailing.
Yeah, Howie
with the red
market as well, Peter. Just the white shirt. Just ahead of Sean Langman.
Yeah, Mojo between them, another white chute.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of boats, few skiffs have gone home.
Yeah, I see Noakes Youth way back. They've had an absolute shocker. They've had a couple of capsizes.
Yeah.
Got off the line Red Bull, but just not a great day for them. So we'll go and join our leader again. And then as we get further up this beat, we'll filter back to the battle for second and third place on the podium, it seems to be at this stage, unless something dramatic happens to Yamaha.
Yeah, he stepped nicely out. He'd be close to a minute and a half, 2 minutes in front.
He's gone, Pete.
Yeah, and the only contingency is here really whether Appliance Online can put himself into the fourth spot, the third spot or not. He's fourth at the moment, but it's a close battle between Coopers, Thurlow and Appliance Online. There's Noakes Youth going downwind.
Yeah, they've had a very up and down regatta, not as clean as their first one last year, but that's the way it rolls sometimes.
Exactly. Here's the leader. Won the first 2 heats, then he had a disaster of capsize in the 3rd heat. Just tacking now. Nielsen Park in the background.
And that's where you can get a bit of surf in there if we just want to come on that, just for people out of interest. And in this little bay and a beautiful coffee shop and baths that you actually, right there on that corner, you can get amazing surf. I surfed there as a kid, and it's a real novelty to be surfing inside Sydney Harbour, that's for sure.
So it's been tough for New Zealanders. They haven't won this contest since 1974. They've never won on Sydney Harbour. And the way things are stacking at the moment, it
unbelievable, Pete,
still might be the case. But
it's cruel, isn't it, sometimes?
Tough game.
But, you know, and then not only was that redress overturned and he's had to carry a big score, I thought, I don't know, you know. Anyway, who knows? I don't want to comment too much. But then on Thursday in that light air, they had an absolute shocker as well. I don't know if you got the point score there, but it was around 24th.
No, 19th he ended up because there was a couple of retirements. But
still a big number, right?
What happened, he got buried at the start, then he had an altercation just after the start, and he didn't really want to go to the protest room again, so he had to do a penalty turn.
Right.
And by the time he had done that, the fleet had gone, and he just could never recover in that light air. And he did probably well to finish 19th, but he's had a did not finish in a 19th.
Ooh, that hurts.
Which is quite catastrophic.
It is catastrophic. So anyway, no doubt that these guys are absolute A-graders in the class, and you know, if they stick together and come back again next year, they're certainly one of the fancy contenders. Only just missed out on winning this championship last year by a couple of points.
1 point, I think,
yeah,
to Smeg.
They won the Mark Foy Championship in New Zealand and Auckland last year, won the regatta in Fiji, won everything in New Zealand, you know, on a domestic level. So, you know, sometimes just got to keep coming back for your day, don't you?
I think also he mentioned that they hadn't had that much time with their #1 big rig.
Right.
And David felt that they were always probably a tickle off the pace with it.
Yeah.
And they got here, and of course they started with the small sails, and they were smoking, and then they had that bad day on Thursday with the 19th, and he just felt, even though he got a 5th in the 4th heat, he said then he didn't really think he was on the pace. And
there's not a lot they can do about that, because wherever you sail, wherever you live, you sail in the conditions you're given. And the guys here in Australia get normally in the summer a good mix of both rigs, and so it's the way it pans out. I think we'll let these boys, the Yamaha boys, go for a little while, and we'll go back and pick up this battle for 2nd, 3rd and 4th basically.
Which is over here.
Got Coopers on our bow, and then the boat's coming to us, so I don't know how far away we can shoot, but
that's Cooper's right of screen. The way in the distance is with the darker sails is.
We might pick up these two, eh? We haven't seen much of Whitty today, so
is Sea-Tech, but
Whitty on our bow.
They've split a little bit. Coopers has let them go, which is a little surprising. Coopers is standing a lot closer to Nielsen Park. These boats have stood out into midstream, and it's still Thurlow, Fisher.
Well, it looks like to
Whitty's, me, Peter, Whitty's got in front of him, I think.
Exactly. Yep. So he's moved forward.
Yep.
So it's just a matter of, and it would appear to me that out of shot, Coopers is now tacked, and so we're going to get some crosses coming up. Maybe if these guys keep going.
Yeah, I think Appliances Online is close to 2nd here.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
And Thurlow would still be fourth. It's still
Yes.
still close, but you know, I'm not trying to think anyone else's game here, but I would think Michael Coxon is probably just saying to the boys, keep it cool,
Yes.
keep it consistent. 4 will do us, boys. 4 will do us.
Yeah, you got it.
Just not throw everything at it. Just be
And-
nice and consistent, conservative. Still go hard, but probably not pedal right down.
Well, and particularly in this stuff, you know, I mean, he's been in there before, and I saw like a few years ago, you know, just, I think he might have been a little bit behind in terms of the championship and just really went for it and had a couple of swims. It was interesting, you know, talking to Coco Senior last night, he's been watching the racing and he's been really enjoying it.
This is his uncle in the spa bath.
Yeah,
yeah.
And he was saying that, you know, his mindset when he watched it, and he's been sort of, I don't know if it's right or wrong, but I sort of took it to be a little bit of counselling with Mike Coxon on Thurlow and just being a little bit more conservative of what you're talking about. And basically what he took out of that Thursday's race was he basically just kept Smeg behind him, you know, he kept between the fleet and Smeg. So and that, at that stage, give them, you know, what might have was going to happen with Yamaha. That was his. He felt that was his strategy. So a lot more thoughtful approach.
Yeah, it was game plan awareness. I think that's what it was. He knew what he had to do. He knows what he had to do now. But it is a very good battle as we look at the Thurlow Fisher there coming out off Steel Point on port. We'll see Rag and Famish come into shot shortly on starboard, and Thurlow will be just taking the stern of Rag and Famish. There he goes. He's got a pull behind him.
So they're coming to them, Pete.
They are, and
Great battle.
next time he'll have starboard tack advantage. And there's goes Appliances Online. Dave Witt enjoying the fresher conditions.
Yep.
He's at second spot as Thurlow's again, just tacking to stay with that pack.
Yeah. This is the battle in the fleet, right?
And meanwhile, way in the distance, Yamaha has gone. He's blown this group out of the water, and he's on a ley line, we would say, for the turning mark at Shark Island as we watch Thurlow Fisher.
That's astounding, Peter, that lead now. And just for the fans of SeaTech and DeLonghi, just to let you know, they're still just behind this battle. And we'll hang up at the Shark Island mark and get those 5 coming around, and then follow them down on the run, I think. And then if all goes to plan, we'll cut across short tacker and pick up our leader Yamaha.
Just gone round the Shark Island mark, Warwick. Get the time on him.
Got the time
But
on
it'll
it, Peter.
be large and significant. There's DeLonghi there. He's 5th or 6th.
Yeah, doing a great solid job, those boys.
Another bit of a cloud bank rolling across us here.
Yeah, Simon Nern, Grant Rollerson and Kieran Cohen in the bow of DeLonghi. Grant's been done God knows how many of these championships, same as Simon.
And here's the battle between Thurlow tacking. They tack simultaneously at Rag and Famish still, well, clear ahead now. He had to take a stern before, but it won't be. That's a bit. He's extended further on that, and Appliances Online stood further out in the middle of Rose Bay. He will cross them, certainly cross Thurlow quite easily. He'll be not much in it with Rag and Famish, and I think Rag and Famish, even though he's on port, I don't know who's going to cross here.
They're Jack McCartney and the boys are doing really well. There's nothing slow about the setup on this.
I think Dave Witt's he's tacked under them. I don't think he's not on a ley line. If it is, it's a tight ley line. Rag and Famish here well up to windward. And is he laying, Warwick? It's hard to see. Yeah, he is. I think he is. Yeah. So Dave Witt.
So this will be interesting, Peter, because if the others have to 2-tack and Rags is an easy lay and get the bow down a little bit and just But it's too funky to give anything away right now. But if they can, they could jump these two. And look, out of shot now, we're on shot on appliances. They've gone down to 2 strings. Actually, same with Rag, 2.5 maybe. Thurlow, just a bit out of shot, 3. So very puffy up here in Rose Bay.
It's a tight lay. Thurlow will not lay.
Appliances in a high mode here. Just come around to the right a little bit, please, Blake.
Oh, he's down again. He got one. He got a sneaky one.
Yeah, a little bit of pressure coming. So this could put Rags back up there. Just I can see the mark. It's going to be really tight. Thurlow, no way.
No way. So they'll have to do 2 more tacks. I think Rag will get there, Warwick.
Yeah, Rag will, Peter. And but I don't think
appliances won't.
Will.
No. There goes Thurlow now.
Yeah.
Tack back onto starboard. Dave Witt, he's pushing the envelope, but he won't get there.
Yep. So I think this is going to put Jack McCartney back up into second.
There goes appliances on line, and Rag will go round in front without attacking. Good work, guys.
Yeah, and a few position changes there.
And
3 minutes 13.
There you
Peter.
go.
That's a number. That's a big number.
I don't think you and I could win from there, Warwick, with a 2-hander. We'll have to give him a bit closer to the finishing line. What do you think?
We need a 4-hander, Pete.
Get Letty Burke out.
Yeah, Bobby Holmes back.
Sailing the 4-hander with you and Berkey and Woody one day. I remember that.
Yeah, that was a good career move the old man got me to do.
In the valley.
It might have been about 10 years too early.
Okay, it's bound. These boats, 2 sail reaching. Yamaha way in the distance with the spinnaker now. He's round Bradley's head. He's laying into the leeward mark. Rounds that and then to the finish at Clark Island. So he's gone. Rag going up for pressure.
Yep. AOL going for their shoot.
Fortune.
Not a great set, Pete.
Fortune favours the brave.
Well, that's
the big Dave Witt. Yep. Rag is set in not much pressure. Thurlow just nice and steady. 3 strings just going up on Rag's line. I would think he'd be going for the spinnaker very shortly. They're having a look around. Yes, says Coco, let's go.
Yep.
And there they go. Puts the bow
Fred
down.
going on the halyards. David O'Connor going tack. Bang. Drive that halyard into the top.
There they go.
Breeze very forward and funky at the moment. Now they've got it.
Not much air. We're just on their windward side here. We're about 3 or 4 boat lengths away from them. Just out of shot on the from the drone. Dave Witt to leeward of them, top of screen. Comfortable, but be tight on lay for Bradley's head. Yamaha, is he around that leeward mark? Yeah, he's just about to go round, I think.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I'll get another gap.
Well, it'll be...
It's all, academic, but for something to do.
Yeah.
But, geez, this field has just been dragged out. I mean, there's guys just so far back today. I suppose it's all the capsizes and then the breeze softened and there's been big angle changes as well.
There's Rag getting good pressure.
Yep. Now going down, made a good advantage. Look at that drone up.
Where's our eye on the sky?
Yeah. I got it.
On Thurlow, leaving Thurlow to go up to Rag, who's in a really good squirt.
I've got our little man in the sky ship as we're going forward with him.
Yeah, and that white water coming off Rag and Famish, that he's got a ripper going into Bradley's. Absolute ripper.
What a great shot.
Come on, boys, bend your backs. Get into it.
Go low hawks.
Go.
No, that is a fantastic shot. Got Veggie on toast, drone racing pilot, come in. First time doing this, live sport, just doing an awesome job.
Just behind them, off screen, appliances have had to drop, and I think Thurlow will have to drop. But Jack McCartney's rolling the dice, and he's rolling it pretty nicely.
And ship is, look at this ship, it's to the left, Cooper's. Luckily it's not too tall, but I think it's going to affect them. Here they go, they're starting to get gassed off it now. Look at this, they slowed down. Look at the gas of it. AOL coming from behind. We can just go a little bit. Beautiful guys at the back. And
There's AOL, no spinnaker.
They're coming at them. Yep. Thurlow Fish have got their shoot down as well. Look at this compression.
There's some good vocals coming from Rags.
I think David's going to go above them. Oh, see, now he's getting gas. Now, what's Coco out of... No, we haven't got Coco in shot yet.
He's lost pressure as well.
Also affected.
No, Rags okay now, Warwick, I think.
Okay, yes.
He's got his
Now
apparent win out of him.
Yep. So that compressed everything, so now Rags will jump ahead
And
again.
now Appliances is putting the bow down to put the spinnaker up. So it'll remain pretty much the same. Thurlow, fourth. Rags now got the good pressure.
Yeah, so it normalises again, Pete.
What is... And DeLonghi, the boys there off to Chowder Bay, they've got a big drop in the round. Oh, yeah.
I can't see it.
No, you can't. They've gone right down below Bradley's head. They're dropping their spinnaker now. Rags got some really good pressure down approaching that leeward mark.
Okay, let's get that.
And the leader, meanwhile, is halfway up the final beat to the finish. So there's Rag in a good squall at the leeward mark. They're just dropping the spinnaker.
Yep, so that all spread out again, didn't it? You know, it was interesting, like Rags hit the basically the parking lot of the sea deck, it's called.
Looks a lovely vessel too.
Yes.
Jeez.
And it is, and what a great party boat.
Got plants growing out of it.
Yeah. So it's like something you see on the, the Mississippi River.
Hong Kong Harbour. But meanwhile, back on the race course, Rag and Famish is still not quite at the leeward mark.
Yep.
Appliances online had to reset, and then he's dropped again. Same with Thurlow. So it's still the same placings for the minors.
Yeah.
Rag, Appliances for second and third. Thurlow probably 10 to 15 seconds behind Appliances online. And we'll try and...
All right, we'll head up to the finish and get Yamaha.
Try and get some points worked out. Okay, that's the minor placings group just going round the leeward mark, and we're powering up wind now in the Camera Cat under Captain Warwick to watch Yamaha record what will be his third win out of 6 races. The boys from New Zealand. Yeah.
Like you put it in that context, 3 out of 6, and then down the point score they've got is hard 8 seconds.
Yamaha, he's still got about, I would think, Warwick, about 3 or 4 minutes sailing before he finishes as the Jet Cat ferry goes to windward of him, and he's got a bit of bumpy water to get through and good bit streaky pressure. The committee boat up to the east of Clark Island.
Yeah.
Got a bit of spectator boat. Yeah, another lovely looking vessel.
Needs a few plant shippers. You'll get it in a second, folks.
This is one of the glamour boats of Sydney Harbour.
Yeah. And if you want to hire that, it's oddscat.net. So yeah,
he's got a couple more tacks left in him, Yamaha.
Yep.
What might have been?
Yeah, Matt, Stephen, Brad Collins from our mates over there in Kiwi land would no doubt be enjoying this win, but would be obviously a little bit of a heavy heart, I'd say.
Yeah, that's right. I'm just looking for my points table, so bear with me in these conditions.
And look, soft here, pretty funky, 2 strings. So we've gone at all extremes today, Peter. We've had that wild stuff down the bottom on the first lap where we had a bit of a graveyard, big swell, chop, high wind, lots of capsizes. Then as the race developed, the breeze just got softer and a bit funkier, and the gap between the fleet had just increased, probably to the greatest that we've actually seen so far in this championship.
Yeah, it'll be a huge winning margin, Warwick, as you say.
Yes, I'll make sure I get that.
Well, just as you say, it's academic, but of interest, I'm sure, just how dominating he was.
Well, it's going to be the biggest winning margin of the regatta, I'd say.
I think all my paperwork, Warwick, has blown overboard. But as always, improvisation. There he is, over the line. Yamaha, New Zealand first.
Well deserved. Well deserved.
Yeah, well sailed.
Sailed.
Well, he led from the first mark and was never headed.
And they're in that higher pressure. Their up wind speed is just unbelievable. Bow out of the water. The guys, shifting aft a little bit. It's just like they got the afterburner on compared to the rest of the competitors.
It's quite light here on the finishing area. You can see the ripple side, the committee vessel.
We've got one ferry out. Got the JBW, bit out of shot, but got some corporates out on that. And then we've got the the Flying Cloud. We just missed the shot. The Anderson's boat.
Flying Saucer, the Flying
Saucer. Supporting the AOL.
So at this stage with a drop, Yamaha will have 27 points, which means nothing to anyone except to me, so I know where they are. So I found a little bit of a drier bit of paper. Breeze is down, Warwick, here, isn't it?
Big
it's
time.
Going to be a long time till the second boat gets across.
It is.
And I think we might see the reaction on Cooper's, on Thurlow Fisher when they finish, if they know the regatta is theirs. But
yeah, well, that's it, Pete. I mean, you alluded to that before, that this could be it, and
I'm stressing, though, that it is provisional, and I'm doing this under somewhat duress with the wind.
Conditions,
testing conditions. That's right. But I mean, it's been a marvellously consistent regatta for Thurlow. As I said, 5 races, and he's had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as his placings, and he's in the top 4 now. So at worst, I think he'll be 4th here. And it looks as though Rag has got himself still into the 2nd spot. So I think he's here and appliance on line. We look at the 18-footer ferry.
All right, Pete. This is a sheet with discards I've got for you. I've kept it dry, like a good seaman, in my little wet bag.
You had a sail too, so
yeah, well, you did.
Thanks.
So you see that I did take notice. You didn't think I was paying attention, but I was.
It's a wonder I never won a JJ Giltinan. I'm so good teaching all these blokes to sail. So back to the ballpark, as they say. Now where's Thurlow? Oh, Thurlow's out to the left. Okay, Rag and Famish will be 2nd. I think he's got one more tack to lay in.
Yeah.
So he'll be coming in 2nd. So that will take him to $34 points. Take off 12 his worst performance, because you can drop now. So he'll be 22, I think, 22.
Yeah. 2-2.
Yeah. Reminding you, after 6 races, you can drop your worst performance.
Correct.
But where we are with Thurlow Fisher, he won't really have had a bad race, so he hasn't got a big drop.
Yeah, right.
So he could really count all the races so far, drop tomorrow and still win, I think. So there's, did we get a time, Warwick, on just for academic purposes?
3:38.
There you go, 3:38.
So he increased that gap again.
Yeah. Well, I think it was always easier when you're out by yourself so far ahead. These boats were vying for third and fourth, and so Appliances Online will come in third. Dave Witt.
Yep.
So we'll give
So
him
that's
3.
Does that puts Whitty into second, would it?
25. So he would be 25, yes, at this stage, I think.
Tommy Clout, Tommy Anderson.
And they're across. Third today, and then fourth.
Thurlow, Fisher, Lawyers.
Just let's see some reaction here,
Michael
which
Cotson, Dave O'Connor, Trent Barnabas.
Yeah.
This Cocko's won this regatta twice before.
And I think it's going to make it 3 times. Let's see how we go. He's done it. They've done it.
Yep, they're happy boys.
Yeah, they are very happy boys. Well done.
Great job. Great job.
So they were fourth today, and even they I know they will. They don't even have to start tomorrow to win the regatta.
What a nice way to do that.
First, second, third, 2 fourths and a fifth. 19 points in total.
Incredible.
As I say, with dropping a fifth, they're back to 14 points. So even if they don't drop, they've still got 19. Am I right here? Hang on.
Do you want me to check, Pete? Because you did teach me everything.
Yeah.
I was listening.
No, that's right, because Cooper's who's second at the moment on 22 with a drop. Even if they won tomorrow, they would go to 23. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So
you go to that's the way to do it. Like if they come first,
yeah.
What's their next drop?
That's right. So
C-Tech across the line now.
C-Tech fifth.
Yep. They've been very consistent this regatta.
C-Tech fifth.
DeLonghi, Simon Nern will be next. He's had a great day.
DeLonghi, yep.
Yep. Excellent day for those boys.
DeLonghi, and then Woody having his best. Is that Woody next?
Yep.
John Winning, seventh.
What's his? That'd be his first top 10, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
He's been deep a couple of times, a couple of 13th. So good effort, and then Daylight next.
Yeah. Well, next will be Knights Frank. Then it looks like it'll be ASCO, Compass Global Markets.
And Smeg never got there, did he? The defending champs. But anyway.
So John Winning, Cameron McDonald, Michael Kennedy in the bow. All very good, experienced campaigners.
Yeah.
Solid hands.
There's John across now, seventh.
Gets a hooter from JBW.
Captain Stake, showing no bias.
Yeah. Greatest bowman ever lived.
Taught him too.
Yeah.
I didn't. I don't take credit for that. No,
you did. Did you teach him to yell and swear and abuse the afterguard like he does?
No, Woody taught him that.
Yeah, exactly.
So Knights 8th, 9th will be ASCO. So recapping, an amazing win to Yamaha by 3.5 minutes.
Impressive margin.
Second, Rag and Famish. Third, AOL. Appliances Online. Fourth, Thurlow. Fifth, C-Tech. DeLonghi 6th. Yandu 7th. Knights Frank 8th. 9th will be ASCO just coming laying into the finish.
And they'll be disappointed with that, Pete.
Well, I had that swim early on that first run, Warwick.
But that's the time thing. You see, Sevy's only been in the boat probably maybe 4 times before this regatta started. And you can just see the guys that, didn't put a lot of time in that boat handling and maybe been in the class a long time. I'm not saying these guys haven't, but that's the time, isn't it? Going sailing in heavy air, under pressure. And we said it, it's one thing to go around and jibe when you feel like it or whatever, but to be in a pressure situation, your heart rate's up. If you're in a big regatta and, you're forced to make manoeuvres without much time to prepare, that's when it all changes. And Smeg, look at this, Pete.
Yeah,
Last year's winner. Last year's JJ winner.
Yeah, well, he had, I think, he had one swim today, then he got into trouble on that first Spinnaker run. But anyway, he's been a great competitor. I mean, he's
8 times a 16-foot skiff Australian champion.
Yeah.
1 time JJ 18-foot skiff champion. And I believe, you know, if he'd had the desire, could have been an Olympian. That's what I was told. I haven't got that from Lee, but he's a very modest guy.
Yeah, he would never tell you that. But I mean, he, you know, I mean, we look outside the sailing square. He got his biggest prize a couple of weeks ago, and he had twins,
exactly,
boy and a girl, and
exactly.
a couple of weeks old. And
Ricky Bridge had another child this
year.
So I mean, their focus hasn't been there. And
no, but
talking to Coco, he said, you know, they're talking about doing stuff. He said, you know, we just don't have time, Coco. We've got other priorities this year.
Yeah.
And that's the way it rolls.
And two wonderful priorities that last you forever.
Absolutely.
So, to all the new arrivals, we wish them well, and their mothers especially. But here comes Smeg now.
I love it. Like, you know, I do Facebook. I don't post a lot, but I have a little look occasionally. And I see our director, Michael Chitten's having a coffee. Made me share something when we were doing a gig up at Hamilton Island last year. But good work back there, Chits.
Yeah, all the boys.
Yeah.
Veg on the drone, Blake.
Blake
Christoph.
on the Ronan. Christoph.
All week has been superb. We had
and
conditions,
tough.
Yeah, and conditions haven't been easy. Today at the start it was pretty grim. And here comes Smeg now.
Yep.
He'll be 11.
But anyway, getting back Ricky's, there's photos of he's got a little bick in the pool doing capsize training with his 4-year-old. Just classic.
That's the go.
Yep. Well done, boys.
Yep, Smeg 11.
So where are they in the championship
well,
now,
I'll
Pete?
just I'll add 11 to 26 and get 37, and then deduct 11 and go back to 26. So,
do you want to calculate it?
I am stressing this is provisional, and I don't want to. I just hope I'm right, but I think I think I am.
We've got the kitchen maker Pete coming across, having a great battle with line 7. So Steve Quigley and his son Tom, Sam Ellis,
and his Mansell,
not hurting them. Yep, just ahead of our AeroMedia
Line
guru,
and then Great Britain boys.
John O'Witty, who's put all this package together with the winning family. Just worked tirelessly to just change the game in the telecast that we bring to you, and just done an awesome job. It's all came together basically on the day, you know. A lot of days, a lot of hours.
40. So look, Warwick, provisionally I have placings at this stage after 6 races. Thurlow Fisher is first.
Yep.
This is with a drop. I'm bringing into a drop into play. Second is Rag and Famish.
Right, oh good. That's good for Joe.
Third is C-Tech.
Okay. They've been consistent, haven't they?
They've had 5, 7, 4, 3, 5 and a 16. So they dropped their 16.
That's a good series score.
So I've got just giving you the points with the drop. Thurlow Fisher 15. Thurlow Fisher 15. Cooper's Rag and Famish 22. C-Tech 24. Fourth Appliances Online 25. Smeg 26. And Yamaha 27.
Okay, so out of that lot, yeah, well, we won't get too complicated.
No,
but tomorrow that could all change.
There's a battle for second and third.
Exactly,
yeah, the minor
because
placing.
those guys will have had numbers like 8s, 9s. I know we got Yamaha with a huge number that they've got to carry anyway.
Yeah, but that's with the drop. He's dropping. Yeah. I'm dropping his 27 points there, Yamaha.
Sure.
So the 19th cruelled him in race 5.
Yes.
But he's had 3 wins, a 5th, and a 19th to count.
That's pain.
But tomorrow, with only 5 points between 2nd and 5th on the points.
Is that right?
Yeah. That will be the racing tomorrow will be for the minor placings.
Yeah, for sure.
Peroni was up there on points, but he's way back now. He still hasn't finished. He'll be 17th today.
Yeah.
So I think we're probably close to a finish here, Warwick, on the another grey day on Sydney Harbour, but a great sailing breeze. Heat 6 of the JJ Giltinans. Yamaha from New Zealand first, won by 3.5 minutes from Rag and Famish. Appliances Online third. Thurlow Fisher fourth. C-Tech fifth. DeLonghi 6th. Yandu 7th. Knights Frank 8th. Asco 9th. Compass Global 10th. There's a
friend
in
little
the air.
man. How are you, big guy?
Wave.
You've done well. You're still flying.
So we're back tomorrow for the final heat, but I think But Thurlow Fisher has this regatta sewn up. The battle tomorrow will be for the minor placings. So on behalf of all the boys that have brought the pictures to you, and Warwick Rooklyn, I think we're about to say farewell from Sydney Harbour. We'll be back at 3 o'clock tomorrow as our...
Or 2:45.
2:45 for preliminaries, and then the race starting at 3 o'clock. So on behalf of Warwick, this is Peter Shipway saying good afternoon from the Camera Cat, and we'll see you tomorrow.